99% buy cash flow. The 1% acquire infrastructure that guarantees cash flow will still compound 20 years from now. Day one profitability is mandatory. We don't acquire distressed assets. We acquire businesses that generate cash from the moment control transfers. And that is the minimum, not the objective. Cash flow is not the win. Cash flow is simply the surface level signal of a much deeper truth. Ownership of strategic ground. Ground that does not decay when market cycles shift, when platforms die, and when AI rewrites operating physics, or when the original owner disappears overnight. The objective is not to buy a business that performs today, it's to acquire the position that cannot be displaced once pressure is applied. Income can fade. Infrastructure compounds. According to Harvard Business Review, 70% of acquisitions fail to deliver sustained ROI beyond year two, not because the cash flow is fake, but because the strategic position wasn't defensible once the founder was gone. Most buyers don't lose at acquisition, they lose at the transfer of power. Most buyers think the game is cash flow, and cash flow is not the game. Cash flow is the side effect of controlling positioning. Every serious acquirer knows this. Profitability today means nothing if the structure can't survive new ownership. Over 60% of mid-market acquisitions lose margin within the first 18 months post-close. Not because of bad management, but because the business's power position was dependent on the founder, not the system. And that's why we begin every evaluation with one mandate: gravitational inevitability. We don't start with profit margins. We don't start with market trends. We start with permanence. Questions that eliminate 90% of deals instantly is, will this still matter 10 or 20 years from now? Is it tied to a non-negotiable human, physical, or operational function? Will AI destroy it, or will AI turn it into a 10x multiplier? If the answers aren't instantly obvious, we don't move until they are. No theory, no guessing, conviction, or nothing. There are only three types of businesses worth acquiring. Everything else is just noise, distraction, or decay. So category one, essential infrastructure businesses. And these are critical operations that people or companies cannot function without. They can be physical, logistics, compliance, manufacturing, support, facilities, or digital, payments, workflow, systems, SaaS that powers operations. They are not discretionary. They are wired into the bloodstream of economic life. McKinsey's 2024 Global SME Report shows that non-discretionary service companies outperform discretionary ones by 37% in resilience and margin durability. And that is the difference between income and inevitability. Category two, regionally entrenched service operators. Now, these are high trust, locally dominant companies with recurring commercial demand. They hold contracts other businesses depend on and can be multiplied nationally through systemization, bolt-on, roll-ups, or AI-driven optimization. And they are not trends. They are geographically rooted infrastructure that scales through replication, not reinvention. And category three, digital cash flow and data leverage engines. Online businesses with recurring revenue and compounding intelligence like SaaS, marketplaces, subscriptions, B2B productized services. They don't just sell into markets, they accumulate data that reshapes them. When distribution, data, and demand converge, each new acquisition compounds the previous one. And that's not growth, that's control. One rule defines what we reject. If a company's survival depends on consumer novelty cycles or on launch and pray for algorithm exposure, it's irrelevant. We don't touch it. We acquire only what is anchored to unchangeable human need, operational necessity, or data-driven inevitability. Trends expire, but infrastructure compounds. Everyone assumes AI replaces industries, and it doesn't. AI amplifies those who already own infrastructure. A regional service company with entrenched contracts that integrate AI, they become a monopoly. A commodity operator with no infrastructure gets erased by that same technology. Firms with integrated AI across core operations see a 43% average margin expansion, while firms without infrastructure lose share in less than 12 months. AI doesn't pick winners. It exposes who are already built with leverage. We only acquire what AI makes exponentially stronger, not what AI makes obsolete. The goal is not to own what works today. The goal is to control what accelerates when the world changes while everyone else gets displaced by it. That's how portfolio gravity is built, not dependency on short-term cash flow, but on assets that compound under pressure. We don't build single businesses. We build operationality networks. Every acquisition is more than an income event. It is a leverage expansion event. Every move compounds future power, pricing control, distribution reach, data intelligence, negotiation leverage on the next deal. That is how portfolio gravity is engineered, not by stacking companies, but by constructing a self-reinforcing acquisition ecosystem. Quick fact check based on the data of Bain Capital's platform. Acquirers that build integrated ecosystems outperform standalone buyers by over 42% ROI within 3 years. The difference is simple. They buy leveraged systems, not companies. We evaluate every target through one lens, future switches of power. We don't ask, how much is it making right now? We ask, once we own it, what new economic levers does this give us? Can pricing multiply without new costs? Can distribution scale through technology? Can data compound so every new acquisition strengthens the last? If the answer is yes, we acquire, and if not, we walk. Because ownership without future leverage is just employment with paperwork. Most buyers die after acquisition, not during it. They chase revenue. We acquire control of future leverage, and that is why so many perfect cash flow deals collapse within 12 months of closing. Deloitte data shows that 62% of small cap acquisitions underperform their own projections post-close, and it's not because of bad accounting, but because the buyer acquired a job, not a position of inevitability. We never ask, is this business profitable right now? We ask, does owning this permanently expand our control over pricing, data, or deal flow? And if it doesn't, we have no reason to buy it. The test isn't how much it pays, it's how hard it becomes to dislodge once it's ours. We are not buying businesses. We are acquiring strategic ground, the same way nations acquire ports. Not because they generate profit today, but because they control supply routes forever. The same way empires secure choke points, not for their short-term yield, but because they dictate how value must flow tomorrow. Acquisitions are not purchases. They are territorial claims with compounding economic leverage built in. And that is why we do not collect companies, we assemble influence. Each controlled asset increases negotiation power, accelerates compounding, and expands our future cost advantage. Every acquisition makes the next one cheaper, not riskier. And that is the flywheel of empire economics. Recent private equity data from BlackRock's 2024 M&A Index shows the following information. Acquirers that control industry choke points outperform sector peers by 54% in 5-year capital efficiency. The principle is timeless. Whoever owns the ground controls the game. And we don't chase income, we acquire inevitability. So entrepreneurs build companies, but we build engines that control companies. Entrepreneurs focus on revenue. We focus on economic gravity, the force that determines who gets paid when the market shifts. Entrepreneurs hope the world keeps rewarding their effort. And we position ourselves so that no matter how the world changes, it must keep rewarding our control. When markets shift, most react. Our clients are already upstream before the shift arrives. The ones who survive were already positioned before the movement began. And that's not foresight, it's engineered inevitability. And that's exactly what Deal Founders builds for their clients. We don't give frameworks. We replace the entire acquisition infrastructure end to end, from sourcing, due diligence, and negotiation architecture to capital engineering, financing, investor introductions, and post-close operational control. Over the past 3.5 years, Deal Founders clients have closed more than $1.6 billion in acquisitions across over 760 acquisitions, each one sourced, structured, and executed through this same system. Our advisory board collectively represents over $20 billion in closed deals. The same intelligence and leverage architecture is now built directly into every client engine we deploy. Deal Founders is not theory. It's the execution infrastructure for those prepared to own. If you're currently building someone else's wealth, or you're already running your own company, or you're actively deploying capital and you just simply require the right engine behind you, well, you are in the right room. We didn't build Deal Founders to teach you. We built it to give you an unfair business acquisition advantage end to end. So if you're ready to acquire, apply at dealfounders.com to see if you qualify for our acquisition guarantee. And if you're accepted, we execute beside you, not behind you. It's not theory. It's not exploration, a closed acquisition. So do not apply to browse. Apply only if you're prepared to own. This is not education. This is controlled inevitability for those qualified to handle it. This is Deal Founders, the art of deal making.